Oh, welcome back to Woke Plus. I am Weekend Woke, joined by Kev the Great Went and Mr. T T Travis. How you guys doing? That was a fun show, man. Uh I really liked this. I think, we're gonna have some mixed opinions, right? We're gonna get into it a little bit, but at the end of the day, I think we could all agree it was fun. What do you
Hmm.
guys think?
I felt like the first set was I it looks good on paper. They played well, but I really wasn't excited about it. And then I felt like the second set, everybody knew what was going to happen, so it was kind of like this. All right, let's get through this first 45 minutes so we can get every since you knew it was going to happen, it felt like things might have been rushed, where they were watching the clock, maybe.
Mhm. Yeah, I felt that in
Rain.
the beginning of the second set, like with especially with again closing the faux ending. It felt that made the set feel weird. I liked parts of the first set a lot though. It kind of worked for me,
I
but
thought it was it was a fun show. It had high energy. I'm sure inside the building it was a lot of fun to ride some of those waves that they got going through there. So I'm sure it was a lot of fun there, and it was fun. It was good. They sounded good. Always fun when you get a guest 2 nights in a row. I guess I saw Scott Marks posted that he's the first musician to sit in with PHiSH on multiple nights since Warren Haynes in 1999. So
wow,
that's a
it's
long
been a
time.
while.
The Funyun, that was the Funyun who posted that.
Oh yeah.
Remember the Funyun?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, of course. All right,
I
let's get
saw
into this
Scott
first
I
set.
saw Biz Archive posted it, so props to him.
Uh, Fairly standard way to get things going with my soul,
Mhm.
but it was fine, serviceable, right?
I think that was the perfect way to open. It was a blues rocker. It lets you know what was coming tonight.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, fun
foreshadowing,
opener.
as they say.
Yeah.
And then Undermine, I think I like this song later in the show, usually a little bit more drawn out, a little bit more to it. But I think what they did do it with it was fairly interesting. Um, Nothing to write home about for
I
me, but
think it was setting up though the Oblivion. I think that was going to be the bigger song in the set, that they wanted to extend and play with, where sometimes Undermine would be that song. So I think Undermine tonight was more of the setup song in the way of what Oblivion was going to do.
right, which with how badly they've been neutering Oblivion the last like four
Mhm.
times, five times, giving it the Mercury treatment, I much rather this swap. Don't go too crazy with Undermine, but actually give us what Oblivion can and has given us before. And I thought this Oblivion gem, while it wasn't as massive as some of the early ones, was really interesting.
Now, Oblivion and Wave of Hope have both been underperforming this tour. And I
Yeah.
think that this version gave it some credit. About 7, 8 minutes in, you could hear Trey start to go back to close the song out. And then he didn't. He took a breath and he let it go. And we got another 8 good minutes out of it.
Yeah, I felt that too. And I was already kind of writing it off at that point because, the last four were like that. But, and then Driver, man, I was just elated to hear this. It was, and it's so funny because we bitch about slow songs or quirky songs sometimes that like suck the energy out. But like this one just could do no harm in my mind. I was like, who could be upset? I mean, maybe you guys are about to be, but I was gonna say, who could be upset with Driver? It's just such a happy, fun, weird, quirky bust out.
I'm glad they're bringing back what I call the ditties. This, they did Train Song last night. Maybe
Yeah.
we get a talk coming up. There was that whole group of songs they did, Strange Design. They were all real little short songs. And it would be cool to have one of them pop up again every night.
Yeah, those short, like fun PHiSH songs that she used to like get in shows for sure. And it's fun. It's great to see it pop back in there. You're like, oh sweet,
Which
perfect place
actually,
for it too.
and actually, it's not as far as we or as much of a bust out as I was thinking because they played it in Mexico. So this is now twice in
Mhm.
the same year, which hasn't really done that much. So it was kind of cool. Have it back. Did you
You
guys
might get
like
one
this
at Mondegreen.
555? That'd be cool. I thought this
Yeah.
555 almost kind of got there.
So
It was
close,
very
so
jammed.
close.
close.
It jammed. It jammed. It had a
And
good
then
one. Like Good, Kev.
I was gonna say Trey
Funny.
looked up and saw this coordinate said don't pull, and he's like, "What's this?"
No, he always does. I thought this one was a little bit more. He actually let the leash out a little bit, like gave it a little bit of extension and took it for a little bit longer of a walk, like took it past the mailbox this time and like let it get a little bit. And I mean,
But
you can
it
see
didn't make it to the corner.
no, it didn't, but you can see what's there. You can see what could happen. God, I mean, it has that potential to like
It
Right
does have the
there.
potential.
There.
it's and that's kind of the frustrating thing with it, but that it doesn't get. But I don't know. I enjoyed it. Like I said, there was a part halfway through that short jam when I was even like, what are we still in? Like, wow, this is fine. Still okay. I like it. So yeah.
I felt like
I'm
Trey
close
fucked
songs
up the
about Trey's.
beginning. I think he might have messed up the beginning to part of the guitar riff, like his timing or his intonation was a little bit off. It just sounded sour, like he like you know what I mean. It didn't sit right, and I felt like and maybe I'm imagining this. Mike looked at him like, "What the hell, man?" You know, right.
Maybe
Like
he was in the wrong key.
there was something off at the beginning of
Yeah,
it. So
gotta
I
fuck
that
up
in
my
my mind,
shit.
I created the narrative of like Trey was like, "All right, I'll give Mike 2 more minutes of jam because I screwed up the beginning of his song."
I'll allow it since I fucked it up at the beginning. Go ahead.
That'd be
Not
so
too
funny
far
though, an
though,
actual
but
narrative.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was weird.
I-
Go ahead.
I was going to say Birds of a Feather. I was a little disappointed that it wasn't longer, but with the rest of the set, I was like, it actually is pretty perfect. You know, the length they did it. When it's in a second set, I guess open up more, let it go longer, but it was a really nice upbeat, you know, continued the vibe of 555 of, you know, a lot of energy before they dumped us off into.
Yeah, I had no issues with Birds. I didn't, I don't think it was like a preeminent version of
Rate
it,
the
but
intro. Rate the intro.
it was solid. It was a B plus in the tightness of the intro. Uh it's like Wook's test instead of Dave's test. But no, it did exactly what, in my opinion, Birds needs to do. It kept things moving, and then, all right, I'm torn on this because I really, really hate Ether Edge. I do not like the song, but it did such a cool thing with the jam and the trans. I don't know actually how I feel about the transition into its size. It was neat and Trey doing it, but it was also just Trey starting It's Ice in the middle of a jam. Like it wasn't like the whole band
Yeah.
found it. It was literally Trey just being like, "All right, it's time for It's Ice," to start doing the guitar lick. I don't
It
know.
just
Overall,
seemed
I
right.
like the segue.
It seemed right in the moment. Like
Yeah.
they knew that they were going to be playing It's Ice at some point. And he's like, all right, here it is.
We're at that
Yeah,
7-minute mark. There's no need to go any further. Let's get into the next one.
We aren't going to 8 tonight. No 8.
No 8. No 8. No 8. Keep it under 8. I don't know. I like Ether Edge. Like it's just it's such a we talked about this earlier. It's such like a poppy 60s fun song it has to it, like this song sounds like it should have been around for like 30, 40 years already, 50 years already, and had a life of its own and whatever. So I don't know.
The Electric Blood Orange with Ether Edge.
Exactly. Like it's a one-hit wonder from somewhere, right? Like it
like
totally
you said,
is.
Nuggets.
Yeah, that if anybody knows that, like the Nuggets box set CD thing of
Artifacts.
artifacts, like that's exactly what it belongs on. So I don't know, it's fun, and I thought it was a fun little jam, and it could have gone a little longer than 7, but yeah, I mean Trey kind of like jumping into ice was kind of I don't know. I guess you could say they all knew it was coming, Kev, but it was such an odd structured jump into it. I don't know.
Right.
I love that description T about Ether Edge being like the groovy psychedelic 60 one-hit wonder. I just don't know that's what I personally am ever really looking for.
I hear you.
At a
Totally.
PHiSH show. Like when they show you they can melt your face, I'm not, why do the bouncy thing? Like just, you know what I mean? I don't know. Like it sounds like such a
I know, but
shitty thing to say, but
it's impressive that 40 years in on a new record, they come up with this song and drop it in here and can play it with these
Yeah.
other songs. Like, it's fascinating. It's
I
amazing.
might come
Like,
around on it. Who
I,
knows?
I
it's
have a
amazing.
theory. I
What
have
is
a
that?
theory I want to throw on you.
Beach
The
Boys,
closer we
exactly.
get to the closer we get to the festival, the higher the chance we're going to see a song that they've played that night. Like Ether Edge, I think, has a very high probability of showing up at Mondegreen, even though this is the first time they've played it the whole tour about to run, because it's the fresh in memory. Oh, we played that the other night. That was cool.
I don't know if I want this to be true or I know this to be true. Feel that a festival, and I've always thought this with Dick's too. It's a clean line. It has nothing to. There's no connection, right? Like if they play it the weekend before, that doesn't mean it's off the table. Or if they've played it, have you know what I mean? Like I think it's isolated in a bubble. Subconsciously, sure, I could see your logic of like maybe it's in their mind and their fingers and it might pop up. But I could also see none of these songs showing up again at the festival, and then their catalog is so goddamn deep. They don't have to
Oblivion
touch
showing
any
up.
of these. They might, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, Evolve, the album Evolve, a lot of those songs are going to show up no matter what.
Mhm.
I think,
I
but
mean, it's interesting you say that too, because we'll talk about it in the second set, but the song that closed the show a week ago in that same spot in that way.
Mhm.
So I think everything's on the table anywhere. And I think, Tim, I totally always agree with your point with that, though. Like festivals and other runs adjacent to tour is like kind of
Mhm.
it's whatever, anything goes on it sort of thing. And you're going to get
So
different things in there, but you're going to get a lot of whatever.
yeah.
Go ahead, Cass.
two fresh starts then. Mondegreen's a fresh start, then Dick's is a fresh start.
Well, yeah, because Dick's is a few weeks, like a little bit later too. Like Dick's is another, like they have
2
off
weeks
time, so yeah,
after,
then it
right?
kind of like resets everything anyway. So
And that's what they did in 15 with Magna Ball and Dix. There was a couple of
yeah,
songs that they played in both, and they had completely different vibes, but like we're both very high level playing. And I think that's I don't want to overinflate this tour in the middle of this tour, but I think this is some of the better playing that we've seen in a long time. So thank you, Mike. You're the fucking man. And then I saw a stat real quick. There has been more 30 or the same amount of 30 plus minute jams this tour
yeah,
as the entirety of 3.0. There's been 6 jams this tour, or I don't know if it was this year or this tour. It might have been this year because it might have included
This
Mexico.
year, yeah.
This year. But 6 jams over 30 minutes, and there was only 6 jams over 30 minutes in all from 09 to 20 or 19 or whatever it was. It was so I don't know. I'm really, really excited about Montague, but we should keep going. We haven't even finished this first set, Kev. You got to keep us focused. What do you think about a
It's
run?
ice. Sorry, it's ice.
Oh, yeah,
Solid
It's Ice.
version. I'm much more a fan of It's Ice than Theme from the Bottom, and for some reason in my head, I have them in the same little bucket.
really.
I am too, but I don't know. Like I like It's Ice more than Theme 2, but I have no idea why
yeah.
you paired them off.
At all, like they're too really. No, I think yeah. Okay. Anyway,
I feel like
I
they
do that
serve
too,
the same
though.
purpose in the set, like the prog rock kind of thing.
No, I don't.
really no,
Theme's
they're
not
two totally
proggy at
different
all.
songs too.
Yeah.
Like feelings of what you do with them, the energy in it and stuff. No, I don't think so.
I
I
don't
love
know.
Ice though.
Boo.
Boo,
Boo
boo, stop.
that man.
Bad opinion.
Bad.
About to Run, which great. This song always fucking rips shit, and somebody thinks it should have closed the set, or was the set closer without needing to go into Walls of the Cave. But at 7 minutes, Kev, I think you still needed a little bit more meat on that bone to really bring it home. And like we talked about the other night with Everything's Right and Blaze On closing the 2 sets, you need something bigger. So while About to Run could do it and could fill that role, I still think you need something to really come in there and explode it like we like an antelope, like what Walls does. So
Right.
Walls was the original song for me that I had that fake out. Like now, like The Well and Ether Edge and all these songs where I start off like, oh, and then like I remember like, oh yeah, I like the way this ends, right? Like there's a lot of songs that do that now. This was the first one that was like every time it starts, I'm like kind of disappointed. But then by the ending part with that that whole thing is, I think, one of the best modern closers they have. Obviously, I'm not saying it lives up to like Hood or Antelope or Slave or anything, but out of the modern, I mean, it's 20 years old, but the modern closers, I think it's one of the better
It
ones.
rips. I mean, you get your white lights in it, and they get places in it, and I mean that's the Kevin and I always talk about closers you want to like go out with. That is a fantastic go out with song. Like it totally gets you there. It's great.
For some reason, I've never connected with the song. I hear it and I'm like, yeah, there's Walls of the Cave.
Well, it came in during your hiatus. This was kind of when your dark period, and by the time you came back, it was kind of out of heavy rotation.
But all you need to do is just treat it, if nothing else, treat it like your Ruby Waves and your Soul Planet, where you just get through the lyrics and get into that jam, and then you can ride that the whole way through it, because it's worth it.
I've begun to wonder how much of that you have to be willing to do. Like, at what point is like half of what they do when they aren't singing? You know?
Right. Well, there's certain songs that, I mean, they're a live band. Like, that's just how it is. Like, you don't have to deal with some of that. I mean, you're just lucky their catalog is so deep that there's so many other songs that you don't.
I'm highly suspect of people that say they love every single No Fish plays.
Right.
They're not that kind of band. It's not meant to be consumed that way. There's nobody, like, if you tell me that you literally love every single song they play and every note they play, I'm gonna say you're full of shit. I bet I could find something
or you've just discovered the band and it's all new to you.
Even then, you're like, even then you're not like, I love every one of these songs. You're like, there's a couple of songs that fucking suck.
But the cool thing is everybody has different things that they like and don't like, and there's a lot of songs that we all seem to appreciate. I find this with the brackets, but there's different songs that people, for whatever reason, they're just like, oh man, fuck that song, right? Like Gumbo, I love that song. Randomly, other people might say fuck that song, and it's a weird phenomenon. All right,
some people may hate that song.
It's so weird.
Some people do not like that song.
Last time I checked, we are 46, pretty sweet, 46 subs away from hitting our goal of 5,000 subs by Mondegreen. I didn't think it was possible, but we got some momentum. So please, if you haven't subscribed yet, now would be a great time to do that. Let your friends know if you have any Wookiee, Fish fan, Deadhead fan friends. We are going to try to get to 5,000 by Mondegreen. That would be really dope. Also, we have a couple more after shows. I guess we have Bethel, right? For Mondegreen, we will be doing recaps, but they will not be 15 minutes after Encore, because the three of us will be chilling at Mondegreen. So we're not committing to his time. It's basically going to be whenever we find ourselves back at the equipment and want to record an after show. It might be 5 a.m, might be the next afternoon. We don't know, but we'll be getting that out there. If you subscribe, you'll see it. So that kind of kills two birds with one stone. And then after tour, we'll do the same thing with Dick's, but after tour, we'll get back to our normal schedule with Wook Plus Live and the Sunday show and whatever, Wook Club. I'm gonna have to remember what our show. Yeah, well, there's a lot of shows we do, so I'll have to remember what they all are.
And also, if you like the Marvel stuff, I'll throw out a little pitch for Panels and Frames. We started another channel that's going to be focused on pop culture and not fish. So if you like
probably
that,
be taking off right after tour. It's hard when you're doing 5 fish shows a week to do anything else.
Even though Deadpool came out and there's so much to talk about. All right, let's do
so much to talk about. We're so behind.
Oh,
yeah, there's a rock and roll song.
Upside down set though. It's weird in the one spot, I felt like, but it's cool.
Weird but fun. Weird, but I kind of like it. It's like I take it back to like we talked about the other night when Everything's Right opened the Sphere run. I liked it in that place. I didn't like it as a closer. Like S.A.N.T.O.S, sometimes as a closer, the Encore, you're like, okay, yeah, but so as throwing it in the front, opening and second set with it, fun. Like it kind of sets a good tone. Like it kind of gives you that. And at 5 minutes, it's not that you don't need it to do a lot of heavy lifting or like close the show or like have that burden. It's kind of like bringing you into it. So it's a cooler like vibe with it. I thought.
I felt like it was please return to your seats. You know, they start the back on stage. I better get back to my seat, you know.
Yeah, I agree. And then
the spaceship will be taking off.
please keep your arms inside the vehicle at all times. The Wave of Hope jam was kind of cool. Like it was compact, but it did a lot of neat things, and it's kind of like I don't want to say resurgence because it hadn't been off that long, but we were starting to get to the point where we were getting nervous with it, right? The batting average
It
was
redeemed
starting to dip.
itself.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Although, all right, I'm gonna combine the next 2 or 3 songs. There's a little tradey HD ripcordy not committing to things with the end of
'Cause he knew
Hope and the
Billy was
Caspian and the
coming.
light.
He
Yeah,
knew Billy was
exactly.
coming.
He was preoccupied, and I'm not gonna sit here and shit on this whole first half of the set, but I'm not gonna blow it up or fluff it up either. It was not my
Right.
favorite, but it was okay, serviceable.
I'm
I would say.
not a light guy, but I felt like Wave of Hope might have been cut short, but the intro to Caspian was really good. So happy to see Caspian. I feel like that could have had a little more, but tastefully went into light. It didn't, the transitions themselves were good. It's just, it was, you know, it was shorter, obviously, but
Yeah.
I really like the mini set in order to set up the guest. I think it was cool to have Loving Cup.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's a
it
neat
was.
premise to do it that way.
Yeah, it was. It was fun to kind of like set it up like that and have. I mean, I thought the Wave of Hope was a great at 14 minutes. I mean, it's fun to see what they can pack into. I mean, we started talking about that, a few tours ago about not really the longer micro jams, not the small, like not the 8 minute 9, but like the 12 to 15 minute ones that you kind of get that you wish they went a little bit longer, but it still has that punch in it. And I thought this one had that in it. Like it finally felt like, and yeah, it could have gone longer.
The kind of jam in 3.0 that you were like, wow, they played 14 minutes last night.
I was just gonna
Yeah.
say that. I was listening to a show from 2013 that I went to, and the jam of the show, which was I remember being one of the jams of like the tour, was like 14 minutes, and it was like, holy shit, we got this 14-minute whatever. Now we're like, oh,
Right?
it's a micro jam.
But look what you get in it. I feel like in this you get, I don't know, they feel longer, I guess, is also part of it too. It feels longer than 14 minutes, so which is a good thing. I think it's not like it's drawn out or dragging. It's that it feels like the jam went more
Interesting.
places than yeah.
Are you light guys?
I am.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so this is one of those ones, and there's a couple of songs that fall in this category. I am live. I like the sonic like wave that crashes over you. I like the actual lights. I like the white light moment in it, and I like the way Kuroda like does like the flip thing, where like he slowly pulls the lights up. I love all that. Mike Screwman's fucking with me. On the couch tour, I don't know. It's fine. I don't. That song doesn't translate as well as
I think there's times though where the jams in light can get like really like out there, like if this thing goes like
make it through the lyrics.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
And I don't hate the lyrics as much because this is a PHiSH song to me. Like this is a very fishy PHiSH song,
Yeah.
so I don't mind the lyrics in light as far as like, whatever you want to say about it, like or like whatever shitty whatever.
All I can say is the driver in my head groans when they go into it.
The driver in your head
Yeah,
but Loving Cup, I'm
too.
like, I am the guy dancing when they do Loving Cup. I am like, yes, this is great.
See, I'll
I
go
know
more
people
for
hate it.
Caspian than light, Kev. That's for sure. Like, I'll definitely but yeah, a Loving Cup that kind of felt like, oh, it's the end of the set. Like we're done. Like a weird spot for it, and a 5-minute one at that. Like super compact.
And then Billy came out again. I was kind of disappointed that we didn't get Les Claypool. I don't know who started that rumor or where that originated from, but there was a lot of rumblings about it before the show. But Billy's fun as hell, man, and it's cool to get him twice in a row. Overall, I think his playing was great. It was a neat choice to do a Tab song in a PHiSH debut with a guest.
Even playing field. Everybody gets a chance to stake their claim with it,
And I always like that the first one is played with a guest, like just because it's kind of a one-off, so it's not really technically still been played by them. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. It's always I think that's a cool thing.
And
And yeah,
nobody
it was,
there
This
knew
is
what the hell was going on. Maybe like
right. Yeah,
a
that too.
couple of heady heads knew that recognized it from tap.
Which is always fun in those moments, right? Like to be
Yeah.
in those to still get those like what the fuck what is happening? What song is this?
Yeah.
Great.
very promising. I really like the
Yeah.
song itself, and in 9 minutes, maybe it's longer than it'll end up because Billy was playing, but it feels like it has the potential to become a 12, 13 minute, explore some nice spaces.
I love the
I think
jam.
the echo vocal is a little weird, but I'll get used to
Yeah,
it.
that's exactly what I didn't like the mine. Like, I was like, just calm down, Trey.
Well, Paige was doing it too at the end, so
Yeah. I mean, they got to commit to it, and you got to like go for it if it's gonna work. And like, who the fuck am I to?
didn't they make a
But
pedal for that?
Well, no, I was just gonna say, Kev, I appreciated that's voices doing it and not a pedal or a sample that like picks it up and goes after it. Like I'm appreciating that it's like actually them or Trey doing it.
Doing that.
yeah. But yeah, I like the
Excellent
song.
choice. Excellent
Yeah.
choice, though.
Yeah,
And I tell you
great.
what, I felt like it was something different than what they did last night. They chose a
I
song
agree.
that
I
was
think these were
different.
better choices for showcasing Billy. I think I was a little bit. I love Billy, but like last night, there were some things where I was like, "Oh, it didn't work." And in hindsight, I think it was the song choices and the jamming choices. There was some weird fits in the beginning. I felt like the beginning of this Billy segment, the choices were a lot better, and he fit in a lot better. I thought through the first three, it was incredible.
Yeah,
Wolfman's was sick
definitely.
with Billy. I thought that was like really cool.
Definitely felt like they were like, "Hey, why don't we play songs that fit you a little bit more tonight?" You know, like like why didn't we think of that last night instead of like trying to fit you into our set list? Why don't we do something that like works with you? And I think this worked a lot better to that point. Like there was still a couple rougher like but that's to be expected, like whatever, I don't care. And Billy's style against Trey's style, like you're gonna get a little bit of that when you don't play together a lot or whatever. But I thought tonight was a lot smoother and was awesome. Like again, the energy in that room, like to ride some of those waves must have been so delicious. Like that energy was just blowing up in there. And even in that song, like it had some serious Santana vibes going in it. Like Kevin and I were talking about it earlier. Like you could hear like some serious like dirty
Yeah, and almonds too.
great. Well, and then what was cool is it kind of came out of the Santana jam ish and kind of like had this like float moment and then went right into an Allman Brothers jam. And you're like, oh shit, now we're in an Allman Brothers jam. It's like we're getting all these great like sounds in this one jam with them. It was really cool. Really cool.
Yeah.
I have this vision that Trey and Billy hung out all day listening to Allman Brothers albums or something and working on getting it right, because it's difficult to play improvised leads with somebody just by watching them and knowing where they go. And I think there was some trepidation last night that was thrown off tonight because they took the Wolfmans, they broke it down, and they gave us the Death Don't Have No Mercy blues.
That's not a mouthful. Yeah, it was super cool to see the bluesy, slow blues version of Death Don't Hurt Very Long. I was, and I couldn't be the only one. I know you said, I was thinking Jesus Just Left Chicago, right? Like my initial gut reaction when they went in, and I wanted that so bad. But I do think the mashup, I don't think it's a mashup. It's like a different, very arrangement of Death Don't Hurt Very Long it was dirty. It was like in the best
Dude, the
possible way.
broccoli, the broccoli paid off. We got some Trey like blues belter guttural singing from him. He like stepped up and was like, I can do this. Check me out. I was like, good for you, Trey. All those lessons paid off finally.
Paid off finally. Like, yeah, no, yeah. I mean, there was a couple Jesus Love Chicago.
I thought they were going to do Death Don't Have No Mercy. When he sang Death, I was like, wow. And then he's like, no. Okay.
That was probably the highlight. I mean, there were a couple of highlights, but that was really out of the Billy stuff, one of those like special moments. All right, I'm gonna take 5 seconds to shoot myself in the foot and give you guys a terrible take to take all the heat off of Kev. Evolve was fine. It was good. And Billy's a phenomenal musician. So all you Billy fans, don't come after me. But I have this theory that if he kept
At Weekend
playing,
Walk.
I have a theory that if hypothetically Billy sat in with them, say 5 nights in a row, by night 4 or 5, you'd hear the exact same repetitive thing, and it would get mightily boring. And I know there's
Mightily.
like mightily, and people are like joking or talking about like a Taboos type tour where they tour together. I don't know, because what he did in Evolve, and by the time it came to Blaze On, he was literally doing the exact same, like over the plane. I don't know. This is
Dude,
where
I thought that made Evolve so tasteful. I thought that made Evolve so tasteful.
I
Him doing
I
that with
agree,
Trey
and that's why I'm trying to be delicate with this. I think it was cool for Evolve, but it almost started to feel it lost the luster because it's going to be the same thing. It was very repetitive. It was bluegrass on electric guitar on a PHiSH song. I don't know. It just
All right,
I
so
was
what
kind of
did
over it by this point.
Well, what did you think of him busting out the acoustic while Trey played electric for the next song? I thought that was a brilliant. Let's try something different here.
That was awesome. Mountains, and that it's funny. You notice I skipped Mountains in my complaining because Evolve and Blaze On, I was kind of like starting to get over it, but Mountains I thought was sick. I thought it was awesome.
Okay, all right. I see what you're saying.
I think. Listen, I admitted it was.
You know what this
not
means,
a great
T?
take, but that's just how I felt.
T, this leaves you with Blaze On to talk about.
It's as we mentioned before, it's funny in the span of a week, it's closed 2 shows. It closed the St. Louis night, and now it closes tonight. So, kind of interesting that it's dropped
New
into
Walls
that
of the
spot.
King.
Yeah, not quite. Like it doesn't, and it's only at 9 minutes. This song has potential in it, but I think it's part of this whole set, right? Like everything's in this zone because they weren't like taking it too far out there with Billy and everything. But again, it was more in his wheelhouse. I thought it was more suited to him. It was a good song choice, not exactly what I would want to go out with, as I said last time when they went out with this song. So
time becomes your enemy.
To Nord, or do I just let it go?
Do you what? No. I think you're good.
Nord here, it seems to think that I've never heard PHiSH before, and that I'm surprised that PHiSH plays bluegrass, but that was not my point at all. But all right, we'll just let it go. Fuck it, I don't care. Whatever. I'm sorry. I didn't think Billy is the next coming.
Here's the thing, though. If they played their bluegrass songs every night, you would get sick of it.
No, I would love it. And actually, I thought the Encore was incredible.
How about
no? If it was only the bluegrass songs every night,
no
other songs. If they were a bluegrass band,
I would see Billy strings multiple times in a row and have no problem with it. I don't like the bluegrass guitar over non-bluegrass songs trying to jam because it completely takes away every other possible jam avenue. PHiSH, the reason I like PHiSH is because they have different avenues they go down on jams. But when they're collaborating with Billy, they only have
bluegrass,
one.
It's bluegrass and bust.
Allman Brothers. That's what it is.
Okay.
I don't know. I fucking know PHiSH plays bluegrass songs. Nord.
You know, let me combine 2 things for you.
See,
I feel like
this. He thinks I don't know this shit.
You fight against the clock, right? When you have a guest and you only have so much time before the set ends is one thing. And if they did do a tour, then you could take a Blaze On and make it 16, 17 minutes because you had 5 nights and you could do all these songs and really give them the room to breathe.
Nord, they did the bluegrass sets in 92, 93, and 94.
Like I'm not letting it go.
We do this show called the Wook Club, and we listen to all of them and we break them down.
Well, we listen to the Pete Wernick.
Mule would have been Mule. Like they should have done a bunch of those bluegrass ones. Like even like My Sweet One. Like there's a bunch that they should have busted out with him and just like fit him right.
They did my 2 favorites. They did my 2 favorites.
Are we on the Encore? Are we talking about the Encore? Yeah. Let's talk about the Encore.
They
I'm
did
gonna
my
stop
two
paying. I'm gonna
favorite
stop paying
bluegrass.
attention to the comments.
Which
I'm
two? Which
triggered.
two? Which two, Kev?
Ginseng Sullivan and Old Home Place are my two favorite bluegrass tunes they do. I would have been in heaven. I was like, yes, this is me.
They fit. They were good. I mean, it was fun. 2-3 minute songs, like we talk about with all those
And I
like
feel
short
like
bluegrass songs that they have.
Ginseng hasn't been around in a while.
No, I had
feel
that
like it
same
hasn't that
feeling. I
much.
was actually gonna look that up.
I
It
know
does
that they
feel like it was
sound
a bit
checked
of a
it.
bust out.
They sound checked it last year at Dick's because when we were hanging out in that side parking lot and they were sound checking, that was one of the things they tried running through.
Yeah.
188 songs, so a bit of a bust out. And yeah, 17 and 19. So I did catch a couple of them, but before that it was low rotation. So very cool. I agree with you, Kev. I think that's definitely one of the better, if not my favorite, bluegrassy songs they do.
Fun song. So fun.
Yeah, it is. I don't know why Nelly King gets so much more love over Ginseng. I personally would rather they did Ginseng, but
For sure.
you get so many Nelly Kings. I probably have like 10 times more Nelly Kings than Ginseng's. But
They busted it out maybe New Year's 93 or something like that. And there was an FM tape. And I got the FM tape with nothing written on it but PHiSH and the date. And I called this song, I called this song Mississippi Delta Home forever because it wasn't labeled. Someone just gave me the tape, and then someone was like Ginseng Sullivan. I'm like, oh, that's what that song's called.
That's great.
Oh, so Frankenstein was like they were practicing or whatever, and Paige was like, I want to play guitar with Billy Strings. And so I was like, fuck it, let's do Frankenstein.
Oh,
Which
it's
is
so cool.
awesome.
The three of them up there, they were doing the rock
Yeah.
star thing, all three of them.
Dude, that's like one of my favorite encores. I love that. Like
They
we always
should
talk
have got
about going out
Go
big.
ahead.
That's
They should have
going
got
out
Mike to
big.
come. They should have got Mike to come over and had all four of them stand there and do the Iron Maiden.
Uh-huh.
I was kind of, because they had the two acoustics up on the stage, right? Set up like before Billy even came out. Like they weren't trying to hide it all. I was kind of expecting an acoustic army, like, type of thing, which would have been really cool. But oh well. This was fun. This was a super fun show. I think overall
super fun. Super
really
fun.
Super fun.
Super fun.
So we got one more run this weekend. We will be in Mondegreen. We're going
this is
to
my last. I didn't show up for much of the summer. Summer tour is like summer
Are
school.
you off now, T?
I kind of ditched summer
Taking
school.
off?
Yeah, I won't be here this weekend. I won't see you guys till Mondegreen, and then
you're going to be in New York, so you're not going to be able to recap Bethel.
Yeah, I won't be able to recap Bethel. So
Kevin and I got it. We'll be all right.
You guys got it. You guys have done such a good job all summer. I mean,
thanks.
You guys crushed it.
I can't wait to hang out with you guys at Mondegreen. That's going to be fun as shit.
I know.
We're going to try it. We are going to figure something out once we get settled. So check the socials. And because we want to meet people. You guys watch us. We talk to you through the chat. It would be fun.
Every night, Kev does this half-baked plugged without us actually discussing or figuring it out. And it's just kind of like, hey, we may or may not do something where we might tell people that we might, and I was like,
it's going to be a meet and greet.
But we really just want to hang out. So just look for the flags flying high above the G8 camping lot and come say hi.
My thing is, I actually don't want to do a whole awkward meet and greet, but if I see you, don't feel weird saying hi because I love to fucking talk to people. But I don't know. We'll see. Hit the like button, subscribe.
Find us and come hang out. Come say hi.
Go tell Kevy's witty. He'll appreciate it.
See you guys putting a face in
it. But you have to remember, you need to give your Twitter handle or your YouTube handle and your real name. So
you don't have to do any of that. He won't remember.
He won't remember it, exactly.
Bye.